Video game NPCs, they can make or break immersion across some of the most popular genres. Too few and a place feels barren, not lived in, or otherwise not worth exploring. Too many and you might just break the frame rate, duplicating too many models to the point where it's too clear you're playing a video game and the whole thing falls apart. Either way, they have their uses, even if that use is being on the receiving end of a bullet, sword, punch to the face, or whatever else you can think of. I'm Scott from WhatCulture.com and these are 9 video games that reward you for killing NPCs. Number 9. VAMPYR. Jonathan Reed, a doctor operating across a Spanish flu-ravaged London, comes back from the Great War to find himself turned into a vampire. Then he kills his sister whilst his body is blindly screaming for blood, and things get more twisted from then on out. The long and short of being a vampire is that they need sustenance, of the iron-filled, claret-coloured kind. Reed, though, is a doctor, and amongst other treatments, he's meant to keep people's blood inside them. It's a doozy of a quandary for a man with a Hippocratic oath and a great moral dilemma for you at all times as a player. Because of course you can resist the urges and stay mostly human throughout the game. This nets good morality points, but is way harder than giving in to the temptation and just leveling up faster by eating whatever you can in sight. More aggressive combat skills, better life-draining options, some uber sweet-looking fangs. It might net you the bad ending, but embodying the name of the game makes everything much easier. Number 8. Bloodborne. Living in any Soulsborne universe is tough. It's hard to tell who's friend or foe until one's cackling at you or another busts out an oversized axe to smear you across the floor. The general rule of thumb, though, is that if they're not attacking, they're a friendly, unless it's Patches, the absolute dick. Yet in Bloodborne, there's a particularly deceptive NPC that can catch you out. While exploring the Forbidden Woods, you'll find a suspicious man stood above a corpse. The player is given the option to send them to refuge in the Odin Chapel. That, as it turns out, is a very bad thing to do, as this guy will then systematically murder everyone. Instead, do what most gamers do and try to kill the NPC, and you'll reveal this character's true nature, a massive wolf sub-boss. Daunting and difficult if unprepared, persevere and you'll net a fair chunk of blood echoes, stopping all those quest-dependent NPCs from dying too. Number 7. TROVER Saves the Universe. There aren't enough hours in the day to try and pin down what kind of game TROVER Saves the Universe is. It's a second-person, fourth-wall-breaking adventure from the mind of Rick and Morty's Justin Roiland, and it's also pretty damn awesome. Anyway, in this very unconventional game, Trover sets out to save the world from Glorkin, who's stolen his dogs. Trover is an unwitting hero, and it's not in his nature to kill NPCs, nor is it really an objective of the game. That said, anyone netting every last trophy or achievement will come across one for killing an NPC. This happens across the story anyway, but check that 100% completion requirement again, and if you're going for full completion or a platinum, well, you're gonna have to kill everyone. Number 6. Infamous and Infamous 2. Players are Cole McGrath, the benevolent savior who can heal people with lightning powers, or they can live up to the title and wreak havoc, begrudgingly saving the day as something of an afterthought. See, while Cole can give and heal, he can also take away. If McGrath is running low on life, he can either suck it up and rest out of danger to recover, or do something worse and get his ultimate Spider-Man Venom mode on. Any unlucky NPC that happens to be strolling by or cowering in fear is a free lunch. Start draining as many innocents as possible, and the power even has an upgrade at full infamy. Not only do you regain health and core power, but Cole becomes temporarily invulnerable too. Seriously though, why is there not at least a remaster of Ultimate Spidey? Number 5. Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. Nestled in Sekiro's abandoned dungeon lies a physician named Dojun. Turns out this shady doctor is after some fine specimens to work on, leading to an entirely optional extra quest that's supremely dark and twisted in subject matter, as all good From Software writing is. The wolf then can ignore him, kill him for a few experience points, or indulge and see how things play out. As the game unfolds, certain characters can then be sent back to the good doctor. Find either the warrior Jinzamon or peaceful monk Kotaro, and though they'll meet a grisly fate, you'll be rewarded with some lumps of fat wax. Charming. It's said that these come from inside the body, so ew, but they can also be used for specific upgrade paths to bulk out your prosthetic arm tool and make Wolf deadlier in combat, helping you unlock everything from the evasive Mistraven dodge to various flame bursts or the catch-all golden vortex. Getting this wax is a notable step up at the expense of your fellow man. Number 4. Fallout 3. One of the first major games to employ a morality system with real consequences, Fallout 3 let you be a saint, a sinner, or something in between. One of the most talked about examples of moral implementation then is everything that happens with the town of Megaton. Built around a giant unexploded nuke, a nice thing to do is give the townsfolk peace of mind and just deactivate it for good. Or you can full-on detonate the thing at the behest of Alistair Tenpenny, a snooty rich old geezer who wants Megaton destroyed and the people killed because it ruins the view from his balcony. Accept this request and you'll net a ton of bad karma points, but also the keys to a fancy suite inside Tenpenny Tower. Along with a new swanky HQ is 1,000 bottle caps as currency if your speech is high enough, or at least 500 if it's not. Number 3. Hitman Blood Money. Agent 47, Hitman series protagonist, is a renowned master of stealth, on paper, and depending on who's playing. In the wrong or very right hands, any supposedly clean assassination can turn into a carnival of rigged explosions, swapped out fake for real guns, or all manner of objects falling from the sky. Blood Money, the best one before the recent trilogy ate its lunch, had achievements added to the Xbox 360 version. Higher difficulties, collecting all weapons, and some just for creative flair. One is the aptly named 47 Kills. A play on our protagonist's name, this had you killing no more or less than 47 people in a mission and then finishing. The twist though is that at most a mission will have 3 to 4 targets. That means unfortunately it's crowd populating NPCs that have to make up the numbers. It doesn't matter how you do it either. Your methods can be indiscriminate, fiber wiring your way across the land, or you can get your Modern Warfare 2 on and just open fire. Just keep count and don't get too carried away. Number 2. Fable. The housing market is tough, we all know that, but spare a thought for those living in Albion, a place where home-fueled murders happen on the daily, creating an ever-fluctuating economy. It's an aspect of Fable rarely touched on, what with the sheer amount of fantastical gubbins you can otherwise get up to, and the fact only a handful of players will even have thought about doing what I'm about to describe. Fable then lets you buy many houses across its various landscapes, but some of them are occupied. If you finally found the right spot and the only obstacle left is a random NPC, well, just take out the competition. Whacking any homeowner puts that house back on the market. It's now free for you to step on in as if nothing had happened, and though you'll still have to cough up the cash, at least that idyllic perfect spot is now yours. And number 1, SIFU. Slow Clap's martial arts magnum opus has the slickest close quarters combat this side of Sleeping Dogs. It's also one of the hardest games of 2022, right alongside Elden Ring, with certain trophies reliant on high scores where your performance will have to be perfect or you're starting all over again. To that end, you'll need to learn to maximize the potential for combos and put points into special moves giving you more health in exchange. Once you know you can get health from farming specials, take note of certain NPCs that will aggro if you persist, but who can be surprised for a quick boost and an extension to your multiplier as well. One that I found is inside the bathroom of opening level The Staunts, to which you can run in and mash them into the floor before they even turn around. Others are the cleaners, found near the beginning of the final sanctuary area inside the kitchen, who'll try to mind their own business until you introduce a roundhouse to their collective faces. And those are just a handful of various NPCs you're actively rewarded for killing in video games. Let me know your favorites down in the comments below, and please subscribe to the WhatCulture Gaming Podcast. For now, I've been Scott from WhatCulture.com, and I'll catch you soon.